Friends, family, relatives, neighbors, residents of Hawaii, don't make me say I told you so. Welcome to Hawaii Preppers Network 808. If you're not paying attention, there's a lot of things going on in the world globally as well as nationally. Shortages, gas prices rising, dropping, rising again, de-dollarization going on. Our money doesn't really buy much. Inflation. There's just too many things going on right now. Wars happening. How can one not see the signs and notice what to do now? Now, I've been preaching to family members, relatives, neighbors, friends as well, regarding the importance of preparedness. And so far, a few of them have been waking up, but I've been preaching this as well as you all have been preaching preparedness for years, if not decades. And the signs are literally punching everyone in the face now. The biggest sign is when Israel told their citizens to stock up for 4 months. Now, what's going to happen if our government, out of the blue, comes out and tells everyone to stock up for the next 4 months or longer, and you're not prepared? You don't have anything stocked up yet. Well, first of all, you're going to be amongst the panic buying shoppers, the hoarders as well, because you have not prepared prior to anything, because in this day and age, anything and everything can and will happen on the daily. You never know what you're going to wake up to. And if you're thinking about having excuses how and why you're not preparing or have not done so yet, that will be very costly in the short run now. Now, I also know that there are religious people out here and everywhere, and I'm not picking on anyone. I'm just trying to send out the message here. But a lot of people have taken the stance that they're just gonna rely on, God, Jesus, and everything like that, and that might be kind of counterproductive, because what makes you think that God and Jesus isn't sending the message already to you and everyone to be prepared? As I can recall, I think there's a story, I might get it kind of mixed up, but I think you may have heard of this story, that there was a flood and the person was waiting for God to rescue and save them, and was waiting on their rooftop. And so there were people coming by on little boats trying to wave them down and trying to save them and rescue them, but they kept telling those people to move along because they were waiting for God to rescue them. And when the person finally drowned or something, then he asked, or she asked, I was waiting for you to rescue me. And God said, I did. I sent people out to rescue you, but you did not heed the call. So that's kind of a scary and a dangerous thing to, not heed the call, because the messages are being sent left and right to everybody, whether you're a religious person or not. So think on these things. Another thing to be aware of is deception. Do not be deceived by everything that is going on, and use high levels of discernment as well, because right now in this day and age, we are all being deceived, manipulated, and controlled as well. So preparedness is very, very important, especially during this time. There's a lot of SHTF scenarios going on It might not be immediate to you, or you might see it in the distance, and it may be immediate to you as well. So that's where preparedness comes in really handy, and that's a rescue in and of itself for you and your family. You don't want to be caught in the midst of panic. People panic buying and panic shopping and end up coming out of those shops with nothing. So it's best to be prepared ahead of time. Now, a lot of us have prepared for X amount of time. Know that you can't save everyone. You can help or try to help everyone, but you're not going to be able to help your entire community unless that community helps themselves as well. And so, even though you're singing to the choir and you're trying to tell your family and friends to prepare, and it's blaring all over the news and it's being broadcasted everywhere what's going on, they're going to need to have to take that accountability and responsibility for themselves. Because even though some people may say, well, yeah, I'll just go over to so-and-so's home, what makes that person that decides to go over so-and-so's home is going to be able to even get there in the midst of SHTF scenario? Because if the place is chaotic and we're going to have a lot of looters and just everything going down in that sense, then there's no way that anyone is going to get to anyone's home in such a time like that, in a chaotic, if everything goes down, grid goes down, collapse, the wars and all of these things happen all simultaneously. There's just no way. So everyone will need to plan accordingly, especially if you're not prepared. Planning is something very important for not just you, but your family, your extended family, your relatives as well. Now, do that now. And if you can, do it with your neighbors as well. Now think about this. If you're going to need water, you're going to need quite a lot of water. 3 gallons a day per person. That calculates down to 7 days a week per person. That would be about 21 gallons of water. That's just for one person. Now, if you calculate that for a month, that's about 90 gallons of water per person. So you're going to times that by the amount of people you have under your roof in your family. And also, you need to know that that water isn't just for drinking. You're going to need it for cooking, for cleaning, for doing a whole lot of different things. So in actuality, you're going to need a lot more water. And if you have pets, those pets are going to need a lot of water as well. Now, medical supplies is very important. If you get sick, if you get hurt, if you get injured in any way and there's no ambulance or any of those services available to you because they are going to be not rendered, they're going to be so busy and short-handed, you're going to need to have a lot of medical supplies. You're going to need to know how to apply those medical supplies. You're going to need somewhat medical skills to handle things on your own for you and your family, especially if no one's going to get to you for hours and or maybe even days. Now, food supplies, hopefully you have stocked up on a lot of different variety of food supplies, freeze-dried, dehydrated, canned goods, non-perishables, all different types of foods that you normally eat on a daily basis, you and your family. You don't want to get things that you have not tried and you have not eaten, because that would waste money. If you want to find something of that nature, pick up one item and try it out. Let your family try it out and see if everyone likes it, and then move ahead forward and purchase more of that item. But keep in mind as well, of the shelf life dates, as well as how many canned goods you're going to need and what you're making. You're also going to keep in mind of how you're going to cook these foods. Are they easy for you to just eat right out of the cans and don't need cooking? You're going to factor in all of these things when it comes to your food storage, and you're going to rotate that as well, first in, first out, FIFO, so that you don't waste anything. To supplement those canned goods, you're going to want to grow your own foods as well if you have the space. If you have a community garden, perhaps you can join. That would be something to think about. But supplementing the foods that you already have in your long-term and short-term food storage is vital as well. You may not have space. You may be in an apartment. You can grow smaller things, perhaps some herbs, those type of things, maybe even tomatoes. But there are things that we can grow in smaller containers as well as 5-gallon buckets. Keep in mind that growing your own food too will need water. And so rain barrels would be an excellent thing to have on hand. When it comes to that water, it's also important to have different filtration systems. Perhaps the filtration things that they have the Berkey water filter system. They have different filter systems. They also have the pills, that the water pills that filters out things. You want a variety of different filtration systems and know how to do those things with the water in times of chaos. How is your fuel? Do you have gas? Do you have batteries? Do you have backup batteries, chargers for devices? Do you have a solar power station, generator, or any type of generator? The thing with gas generators is that if there ever runs out of gas, then so much for that generator. Now, if you have a type of generator that utilizes different forms of fuel, that would be a plus. But if you only have a generator that only takes gas, then you might have to store gas, and you're going to need to know how to store gas and add stabilizers to that gas for I don't know how long. And so to me, I think gas generators for me is not a good thing, especially being on an island, so if something comes down, everybody's going to rush to get gas, and that's it, no more gas, so you just wasted money on that generator. So I do have a power station solar generator. It's a very big one. I have not made a video about that one. It's really big. It's very big. It's a double. So it can power up a lot of things as well. Do you have camping stoves or ways to cook things like barbecue grills as well? You're going to need the charcoal, the fluid, wood, and all of those things to start your grill or whatever to cook food that you do have. And so these are some of the things that you need to think about if you don't have them right now. So you might want to look into them and see what's best optional wise for you and your family. Don't forget the pets. Your pets are going to need a lot of food. They're going to need a lot of water, treats, things to calm them down as well. You want to have travel kennels if need be. If you're in a situation where you need to leave your home immediately, you're going to want to have all these things in place. Dry food if your pets need medications, those type of things. You want to stock up on that ahead of time. Now, I know that everyone on my street is not prepared, but they do not know how prepared I am, nor will I disclose that to anyone. My family comes first. I will be assisting and helping my family first if any SHTF hits the fan. So, I mean, I can help my neighbors only so much. I can help my friends only so much. We can only do so much. We're not stocking up for the entire creation here. We're stocking up first and foremost primarily for our home front, our family first. We take care of ourselves first. It is not our responsibility to do for everyone else. It's their responsibility, their accountability. Nobody else's, so now we just might end up having to barter as well. Now, if people have not prepared around your neighborhood and community, on your block and street, you're going to go into barter mode. And so I've already started barter mode a long time ago with a few select people. And so, I'm doing the barter bit already. And, my neighbors is going to end up being barter mode. What do you have that I need? And then we can barter. We can trade. Especially if everything goes down and hits the fan. That's what's going to happen. Now, I don't go out of my way to go get things in the stores just to barter with someone else, because I have that all under my own roof here, and I know what I can do, and I know what I need to do that barter. I would not bust out something, a huge container of something. I would not bust out a whole bag of flour, or a whole case of water, or even a water bottle. What we're going to end up doing is slicing and dicing those things in half. Indeed, when it comes to bartering, it's just going to need to be done that way. But if SHTF does hit and there's like a food line that everyone is standing in, you're going to want to be part of that food line. Because if you're not there in that food line, people are going to know that you probably have whatever it is. That's why they're not seeing you there. So you want to blend in when it comes to something like that. But just being the gray man in everything that you do as well. Alright guys, I was just going over a hodgepodge of things when it comes to preparedness, just to try and cover different bases here, knowing that everything is going on, everything and anything. Learn to keep your sanity. Don't just prepare food-wise and all of those necessary emergency supplies, but you need to also prepare mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, all the way around, because we don't know what's going to hit. We don't know how it's going to hit, how it's going to affect our psyche, how it's going to affect our body and our emotions. You just don't want to lose it. You want to be able to focus. You want to be strong in all of those aspects at the same time. So I'm just leaving all of this here for you and letting you ponder all of this. If you have anything to add in comments, sharing them below in the comments would truly help. And if you have not subscribed by now, please do so and help out my channel to grow a little bit more. It's growing inch-wise, but I would be so happy if it grew even more and more. And I'd like to send out a lot of thank you and aloha to those that have subscribed and those that are new subscribers as well. Thank you all. Have a blessed day and keep prepping. Aloha.